Are you ready? It's time!
Sleeman Breweries, in association with the Western Ontario Super Hockey League, presents the Western Ontario Super Hockey League podcast. Here's the host of the program, Andrew Rogers.
Hello again, everybody. Andrew Rogers here, the host of the Western Ontario Super Hockey League. It's a podcast. It's great to be back with you guys once again. Yes, episode number 31. It's like I say, but guys, it's honestly just so cool to be back with you guys. I love bringing these podcasts to you. I love being a part of the games and the festivities. Doing the play-by-play for these hockey games, just outstanding. Everything is a great experience. It's peachy, you know what I mean? It's good. It's good. Welcome, guys. Episode number 31 for Wednesday, December the 8th. We are. Let me see if I do the math correctly. 8 and it's 25. 13. I don't, guys. Honest. Oh man, that's embarrassing. Let's see here. Just to give us some clarity, okay? 14 and 4. So let's see. So we got no, wait, that's not right. 8 and 25. Oh my goodness, this is embarrassing, guys. 2 weeks would be the 22nd and 14, and then you got 4 more steppy. No, 18, 17 days to go, guys, till Christmas Day. Sorry, math was never my strong suit. Just for that. But yes, it's great to be back, guys, once again. We had a great weekend this past weekend in the Western Ontario Super Hockey League. Number of games. We had 3 games over the weekend. We had the Strathroy Jets hosting the Stratford Fighting Irish in their Hockey Fights Cancer game. That was pretty great to see that. Big W for them. We'll get to that in a minute. We're going to do a complete recap of the weekend that was. We have video footage from one game, and that was this past Saturday. The Stratford Fighting Irish and the Tillsonburg Thunder from Stratford. That was a beauty of a hockey game. It was really a great game all around from both sides, and a thrilling finish. A big W for the Stratford Fighting Irish. And then our final game of the weekend saw the Elora Rocks travel to Alvinston to take on the Killer Bees in their Hockey Fights Cancer game. A couple of Hockey Fights Cancer games, and we have a couple more this upcoming weekend as well. One in Elora between the Tillsonburg Thunder and the Elora Rocks, and then Tillsonburg will host their Hockey Fights Cancer game on Saturday when they host the Alvinston Killer Bees at 7:30 on Saturday. Guys, great set of games coming up. Great set of games that was. Let's get to the video highlights, and then we'll recap the weekend that was. The only video highlights that I have, unfortunately, are from this past Saturday, the Stratford Fighting Irish and the Tillsonburg Thunder. Andrew Rogers, myself, on the play-by-play, and then Brian Hawley, our color commentator. He was just fantastic, and he's been so great to work with all season long so far to this point, and we look forward to it because we keep getting stronger and stronger every game, in my opinion. So anyways, without further ado, here's the weekend highlights of the Western Ontario Super Hockey League. Welcome to the Western Ontario Super Hockey League action. We are here in Stratford, Ontario, Canada for this afternoon's Western Ontario Super Hockey League contest at the William Wallman Memorial Arena between the visiting Tillsonburg Thunder and the home Stratford Fighting Irish.
We're getting a look now at this Petrie, Martin, and Jung line. They're starting to get some chemistry. Coach Jamie Petrie has kept them together through most of this season.
Pass in front, and they score, and that's Andrew Tapsell burying that one from the slot, and that's a huge Tillsonburg goal here with 17:50 remaining, and Tillsonburg strikes first. They lead it 1-0. Stratford with a heck of a shift there, and we'll see if they can continue the momentum. Tillsonburg has the puck, though, in across the line. Open is Robertson. He makes no mistake. Wide open on that rush. And Braden Roberts, he's a shooter. That's his 8th of the season, and it's 2-0 Tillsonburg. Wow.
Snipe show from Roberts, really beautiful, nicely set up play.
And the shorthanded Thunder, so that's big. Here comes Brulot. He puts it in the middle, and they score. Cameron Stokes
What a way to come back! Holy smokes! Or no, it's Holy Stokes. Holy Stokes, what a goal. Here comes Hayden Broomhead. He's got the puck in his skates. He can't find it, but he keeps it in deep. Colin Martin, he's joined by Petrie on this line. He's fresh off the bench. Petrie's got it now in behind the net. He gets tied up there with a couple bodies. Jung shot off the crossbar, that's in! Nick Jung, what a goal! That's about as greasy as they come, but it counts. 2-2 is the score.
Yeah, off the crossbar and then bounce in off the goalie. I'm sure Nick Jung will take him any way he can get him.
What a stop. Well, not a save, but a great play by Raymond. And here they come the other way. Christo with a break. He's taken down. And there's going to be a penalty, if not a penalty shot. Are they going to call a penalty shot? Yes, they are. Penalty shot for Curtis Christo. Wow, that's the first one in WOSHL history.
I was just going to say, I believe that's the first penalty shot in league history.
First one, WOSHL history. Wow. Curtis Christo, mark that down, trivia fans. He'll ease the trivia question forever now. This is great. Curtis Christo, number 55, against Nathan Torquia of Stratford. Here he comes, in across the line. Shot all off the crossbar and out. Wow. Woo! Boy, that was exciting.
Boy, that is the most exciting play in hockey for a reason.
Wow.
Clearly, after the 2 goals and that penalty shot, the book on Torquia is high glove, and he nailed his shot. He just put it a quarter of an inch too high, otherwise it was going in the net.
To be picked up by Pasztor, who brings it ahead. He still has the puck. Into the middle. Edwards, nice move. Puck's in behind the net. Now it's into the middle. Pasztor with the shot. That goes deflecting into the far corner. Into the front. Shot scores! Zach McQuaid, number 24 of Tillsonburg, makes it 3-2. Tillsonburg Thunder over the Stratford Fighting Irish. What a goal.
Into it a little bit, mixing it up. It's really the first sign of any aggression. It's been a veritable love-in so far for these two teams. Very peaceful affair. I'm quite surprised.
Very surprised indeed, yeah. They could be just getting into the holiday spirit of the thing, you know, with 21 days to go. There's a shot, and that's a bad break for Stratford, but a golden break, and it's taken, it's buried by Braden Roberts, number 13. And that stakes the Thunder to a 2-goal lead here with 18:24 to play. Braden Roberts finishing off that redirect, and it's a goal for Tillsonburg.
Yeah,
And of course, Roberts, he's got a great oh! Jets, they score! So Pasztor got an assist on the Roberts goal, and then the Irish answer right back, and that's Clayton Lewis with the goal. We also have a new goaltender. I just noticed this, Brian. Tim Porter is now playing net instead of Jesse Raymond. That's that must have happened at the intermission, and I just happened to see that now. Back into the Irish zone. Stratford on their power play, their first of the hockey game, and as they try and knot this one up at 4. Brulot off his skate, did a nice job to get in. Vieira shot, nice. They rebound, they score! O'Brien on the power play. What a break for Stratford as they strike back on the man advantage. We are tied at 4. That's a big goal. It's a precautionary thing. So he's out and Porter's in. So that's why the change, just for those wondering at home. Back to the line, his shot scores! Mitch Casey for Stratford scores from the line, and they score again. It's 5-3 or 5-4 now for Stratford. Wow, just like that they have the lead. Could be picked up. Stratford brings it out, and it's going to be Brulot. He's got a chance in the empty net. He scores. There it is. Goal number 6, and it puts the Irish up by 2. It's an empty netter for the captain, Graham Brulot.
Brian.
Final seconds tick off here, and that'll bookmark this one. A huge Stratford Fighting Irish victory here over the Tillsonburg Thunder. After a 6-4 setback last night in Strathroy, they come back with a 6-4 victory here tonight against the Tillsonburg Thunder. What a victory for the Irish.
Okay, yeah, guys, so let's start there. Let's go with the recap of the weekend that was, as we mentioned, Stratford falling 6-4 to Strathroy on Friday. We'll start there. It was a big victory for the Strathroy Jets. They're back in the win column. Great game though, but we got a couple shout outs here. Graham Brulot with 4 points. He had a goal and 3 assists, points in all 4 goals the Stratford Fighting Irish scored in the losing effort. Also want to give a shout out to Nathaniel Dupuis, making his first Western Ontario Super Hockey League start for the Stratford Fighting Irish. He allowed 6 goals and got the loss, unfortunately. Ray Robbins also with a goal and an assist for the Irish in a losing effort. Over on the Strathroy Jet side, though, a couple of shout outs here. We want to start off with Matt LeBerge, defenseman, 2 assists. Good effort from him. Nolan Blewett with a goal and an assist. Michael Bondi with a goal and an assist. Dane Johnstone, 2 goals and an assist. The guy has been on fire for the Strathroy Jets this season. He's right up there in terms of the point leaders. He currently sits in a tie for 4th right now. We'll get to the point leaders in a few minutes. And then Josh Diamond, who is absolutely phenomenal in the Strathroy net, faced 53 shots, only allowed 4. And he's been absolutely unbelievable this season for the Jets. And even an even better person, having talked with him a number of times. He's just a great individual and a great goaltender. Our second game, as you saw from the video highlights, Stratford Fighting Irish coming in with a 6-4 victory over the shorthanded Tillsonburg Thunder. After dropping a game in Strathroy the night before, they come back in the win column and get one back by the same score over the Tillsonburg Thunder. Shorthanded Tillsonburg Thunder, only unfortunately they were without some big top guns, including Jake Brown and Todd Ratchford on defense. Braden Roberts had a big game, 2 goals and an assist. He looked really great out there, as well as our guest on the podcast today, Matt Pasztor. He had a couple of assists for the Tillsonburg Thunder, and in the loss. On the Stratford side, it was a complete effort all around. We had 6 different goal scorers for them. Once again, the depth of scoring from them is just is really great to see. We had Graham Brulot, who led all the Irish in points. He had a goal, 2 assists. Sean O'Brien with a goal and an assist. Other goals going to Mitch Casey, Nick Jung, Clayton Lewis, and Cameron Stokes, who also added an assist. Tanner Fiera with 2 assists, 2 helpers in the game. And then Nathan Torkia, who was really solid for the Irish in the victory. He was able to get the win, as mentioned, for the Irish. Really solid, as he's been all season long since coming over to the Irish. Our final game saw again, once shorthanded, it seemed like a lot of teams were shorthanded this weekend. Elora Rocks defeating the Alvinston Killer Bees 7-4. We had Spencer Gourlay with 2 goals and an assist. Zach Cameron, 2 goals and an assist there. Trevor Lord with a goal and 2 assists. He had a good game. Jacob Black with a goal and an assist as well. And want to give a shout out to our boy Mitch Scott. So player coach Mitch Scott. Yeah, that's not Reggie Dunlop. That's Mitch Scott. Oh, by the way, check this out. If you ever get a chance, Google Sheldon Keefe, look at an image of him. Tell me he doesn't look like Mitch Scott. it's awesome to see. And then big shout out also to Anthony Marshall of the Elora Rocks. He was starting in place of Edward Davey, who's injured currently. He was big in the victory. It's his first WOSHL victory, so congratulations to Anthony. On the Alvinston Killer Bee side, we had Justin Lightfoot with a goal and an assist. Cody Nicolaisen, who was named player of the game afterwards by the Killer Bees, a goal and an assist. And Grant Spence, goal and an assist for him as well. So yeah, guys, great weekend of hockey in the Western Ontario Super Hockey League, as mentioned, and just great to see all around. And yeah, we have a great weekend coming up. We'll get to that in a little while. Like I said, our guest on this week's edition of the Western Ontario Super Hockey League podcast is Matt Pasztor, defenseman of the Tillsonburg Thunder. We're going to get to his interview in a minute. What I want to do, guys, is give you an update on where we stand in terms of the standings. Like I say, the Elora Rocks 11-1, 22 points for them, 101 goals for. They've broken the 100 goals, and they have allowed only 40 for a plus-minus differential of 61. Just incredible season that they are putting together. Like I said, 11-1, 22 points, 2 ahead of the Strathroy Jets, who are 9-1-2. They have 58 goals for, 38 against for a plus-minus 20. They've been playing really well. 7-1-2 in their last 10. But yeah, they're playing really well, and they sit in second. They're 8 points clear of the Tillsonburg Thunder, who are now 6-7. They defeated the Alvinston Killer Bees to break a 4-game losing streak. However, they lose against Stratford on Saturdays to go back into the win column. So they've lost 5 of the last 6. They are now 6-7 on the season. Good for 12 points. The Fighting Irish, on the other hand, 5-6-1. They're 1 win away from being at 500. and they have 11 points. They were 1 point back at the Thunder for third place. Be amazing for the Stratford Fighting Irish to jump into that 3 spot to avoid the play-in round between the teams of 4 and 5. Killer Bees 0-13, still looking for that first victory, but they have an opportunity to do that when they travel to Tillsonburg this upcoming weekend. They are also in Strathroy on Friday night to play the Jets. We'll get to that in a second. We'll go with our leading scoring updates. Just check in our leaderboard. Big ups to Alex Utley, still 17-16, good for 33. He leads all the scorers by a wide margin over second place. Jake Brown, who sits at 24, he has 14 and 10. Luke Balesha of the Allura Rocks, 6-16, 22. Dane Johnstone, 7-11 for 18, alongside Ray Robbins and Graham Brulotte. So Ray Robbins, 18 points. Graham Brulotte, he really shot up the leaderboard. He's now at 17 in a tie with 4 others, including Matt Weston of Tillsonburg, Spencer McCormick of the Allura Rocks, last week's guest on the podcast, 2 weeks ago, he was the guest on the podcast. Todd Ratchford, 7-10 for 17. And then you have Aaron Smith at 5-11 for 16. He is amongst a group of 3 there that are tied at 16 points apiece. That includes Grant Spencer, the Alvinson Killer Bees, and Chad Heron of the Allura Rocks. But yeah, guys, you know what? It's been great, honestly, doing these podcasts, coming on and having guests come on and talk about what's been going on with them in terms of the season and everything else. So it's great to do that. Like I said, this week's guest is Matt Pasztor, defenseman of the the Tillsonburg Thunder. So we're going to introduce him in a minute. On the other side of the break as well, guys, last week I was unveiling my top 10 favorite Christmas movies. My favorite Christmas, not the top 10 of all time. Trust me, guys. Some of mine not in the top 10 of greatest of all time. Okay, just throwing that out there. But yeah, my favorite of all time. So last week we unveiled our honorable mentions and our 8 through 10. So our first 3 on the bottom of the list of the top 10. This week, after we're finished speaking with Matt, we're going to come back and we're going to do 7, 6, and 5 this week, and then we'll continue on next week and so on till we get to our top 10. Now, guys, if you guys want to submit your top 10 favorite Christmas movies in your opinion, what you like to watch during the course of the holiday season, please submit them. Find us on social media. The social media is here. You can find it there. Submit it anywhere on those, and just mention that it's the top 10 of Christmas favorite holiday movies. And what you guys could do is, what if you submit them, I'll make sure to say them on the podcast. We got a lot of cool things planned for the next few episodes before the Christmas break. So yeah, guys, great. Just drop us in your favorites, and we'll make sure to put them on podcast. Great to get you guys involved in some way, somehow, some manner. Anyways, so yeah, that's on the other side after the interview with Matt, and we're actually going to jump to that now. So here is our guest on this week's edition of the Western Ontario Super Hockey League podcast. His name is Matt Pasztor, and he is a defenseman for the Tillsonburg Thunder. He wears number 14. Okay, yeah, we're pleased to be joined on this edition of the Western Ontario Super Hockey League podcast with our guest from the Tillsonburg Thunder, defenseman Matt Pasztor. Matt, it's great to have you on. Welcome, and thanks for doing this, man.
Yeah, no problem, Andrew. Thank you very much.
It's great to speak with you. You're a great defender on the blue line for the Tillsonburg Thunder. Having watched you play a couple times this year, and also on Saturday most recently. How are things going for you 13 games into this new season with the Tillsonburg Thunder?
Yeah, pretty good. It's a little bit different with the teams that we're playing, a couple new teams. But all in all, I like it. It's fast paced. It's exciting, hard hitting. So it's pretty fun.
Good. And obviously, yeah, it's obviously had been a bit of an adjustment for you coming from the old WOA and then coming into this league. Have you noticed anything that's changed from you since you would have last played?
Well, I think the biggest thing was just, having some time off due to COVID, which has definitely slowed me down a little bit. I started doing triathlon, so I started getting a little bit more endurance, which probably wasn't my biggest part of my game, but I was a little bit lighter back when I was doing the triathlon. So now it's a little bit harder, but it's easier to take the odd hit.
Sure.
It's pretty good. I like the new league. Hopefully we can get some more teams in it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Obviously, first year incarnation, 5 teams, hoping to expand next year, no question. But I think it's been pretty successful. Let's go back to that because yeah, like the last time you would have been competitively on the ice would have been back in 2020. Right around that time, you guys were right in it with the Clinton Radars. They had just taken 3 games over the weekend against you guys to put you in a hole. And then obviously, yeah, COVID shut everything down, and next thing you know, a seat. The rest of the year's lost, no champion, and then next season's canceled as well. Like, what was that to go through? Can you take us back to that?
Yeah. Like honestly, the season was fun. We had a good team, great bunch of guys that were good in the locker room. Obviously, Clinton, like the top team. They have a ton of skill. So much fun to play against. Very competitive game. Very hockey oriented. Not too many shenanigans. And then in playoffs, I mean, I don't know off the top of my head for sure if we won 1 or 2 games to start that series.
You won the first one and then dropped the next 3, so you're in a bit of a hole there. But I mean, you were right in it with them. I thought like you guys had a great year, and then I guess I was just wondering, kind of like, did that suck for you that things were like, oh yeah, we're getting geared up for a game, and then it's like, whoa, hold the phones, not playing anymore.
Yeah, I would say a tad bit. So when we won game 1, we really thought we had a good chance. Then they won game 2, and then we lost game 3 as well. So I think once that happened, we went into game 4, I think, with 13 guys. I remember that.
Because you had to play 3 and 3 over the weekend. That was just bizarro.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, we were just beaten down, but again, it was another fun game. And you know what? At the end of the day, it's not always about the result. It's, the competitiveness of the game. Like, I would rather lose 3-2 than win 7-2.
Right. I get what you're saying.
Yeah, it's just a ton of fun. If we could play them more often back when it was the old league, I would have been in 100%. So
yeah, those games are always good. They really know how to bring it. So can you speak a little bit about like, I guess, what the motivation was to come back this time around? Because you had a little bit of time in between, maybe it's an itch, maybe it's whatever. But again, like the other part about it too is that, yeah, you're an older guy when it comes to this league that's very young people driven. Like, I guess it's a 2-part question. 1, what made you come back? And 2, what has it been like out there for you?
Yeah. Honestly, I'm a pretty simple guy. Bill Ryan said, you want to play? I had some time. Let's go. I mean, I'm, sadly, I'm probably not the most committed guy. I do like to have fun and do other things. And I think since my, kind of more official hockey days have been over, I like to travel, do other things. So, I wouldn't be there as much as other guys. So I think that's something that the team and I have worked through a little bit. They're usually, on my case pretty good. But it was just, I love being with the guys. So at the end of the day, if they need a guy, heck yeah, I'm in. So
right on. I love that, dude. I love that. No, and then let's take us back to Saturday. It was a heck of a hockey game. It was great to be able to call it. Again, between you and the Stratford Fighting Irish, Stratford having a big third period there and taking over. The big thing that I recognized in that game is obviously there was a couple things. Sure, not having Jake Brown or Todd Ratchford in the lineup, that was huge for you guys. Having to overcome that and being able to keep it close, that was huge for you guys. But losing Jesse going into the third period, like, how important does that say that he is to your team?
Oh yeah, for sure. I played with Jesse actually at school. He was in the program there, so I knew him and I like him. He's a good human being. I don't really want to blame it that, now he's not in net and we got a new guy in that, you get a little, you think too much or you make a mistake. To be honest, I think both those goals that turned around the game happened against me. On the power play, the guy just zoomed by me because I thought he was getting a bad pass, so I was going after him, and he took it so well. I'm like, oh dang, this ain't good. So then they scored that one, and then they left us out, which was great. Like, I love trying to get it back, but then kind of a fluky one from the point, and and that's the game, right? Like, I mean, at the end of the day, you try and make the best plays you can to be successful, and you hope that the bounces go your way. So
No doubt.
They didn't. Obviously, we were missing guys. Obviously, the goalie change at the end of the game does impact. But all in all, I thought the guys gave it 110. I mean, I ended up getting hurt at the end of the game. I know someone else did. Like, it's surprising how hard this style of hockey still is on the body. Like, there's some games you can get out and you're like, oh yeah, I feel good. But the double headers, that one triple header in Clinton, I think it took me all week of tubs and yoga before I felt right.
That's awesome, man. That's great. No, Bill said you were a character, so I could see that now. This is great. Timmy Porter come in relief in the third. I reached out to him too. I said, because I wondered, like, what was that like coming in cold into a new game, and like that you guys were leading, and then just to have it kind of not go his way, that was kind of unfortunate. Talk about Jake and Todd, because like Todd's one of the better defensemen in this league. Todd Ratchford, great player out there. He got a lot of great vision. And then Jake Brown, obviously, his numbers speak for himself. Like, those two are just so dynamic. Like, what do they mean to your team?
They're huge. I mean, Ratchford, I've never seen a guy so calm, cool, collect with the puck. Yeah, great vision. Just the hands on the kid. It just, that's another thing too, is that as you get older, you start slowing down, and then you start seeing other people. You're like, holy cow, they're pretty damn good. And that's definitely Ratchford for sure. And I think I appreciate it because of fellow D.
Right.
Very jealous of his skills. And then Brown, I mean, dude, you can't give him a bad pass. You just throw it in front of him and he's going to get it, or in his feet, and he'll, pick it up and go and bury. And it's honestly a lot of fun. And it's how I get any points in this league. So
all secondary assists. I'll have to check that stat. Hey, by the way, luckily too, they don't actually keep track of plus minuses either. Matt, so I think you're good there.
Yeah.
And it's just so you guys are obviously 6-7. You've had kind of a rough stretch of games where you've dropped, I think it's 5 of the last 6. We're at 13 games in for you guys, so you're over the halfway point. What are your hopes, I guess, for the rest of the season and then into the postseason?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is just getting back to, the basics and following the process. I think a lot of times you go through a tough stretch and you want to go correct this, you want to go correct that, and you kind of lose focus of what essentially made you successful. I think we're a great puck moving team who can put pressure on the other team's D. I mean, the offensive zone play of our forwards is amazing. Like, it's honestly a thrill to watch. And that's, growing up, that was my biggest thing that everyone always told me, is your best defense is good offense. Right. Always putting the pressure on them is how you keep the puck out of your net. And then you just have to make plays when they're needed. You need to bury, and it comes together. And I think that's another thing for this team that I've seen probably more than the others, is just a little bit snake bitten,
right,
trying to get goals. But at the end of the day, if you're pressing like that, it's going to come. And especially in the tougher games when you really got to battle to score, that's when you know if you're a good scoring team or not.
Right. No, I couldn't have said that better myself. It's a good answer. Let's look ahead to this weekend, because you guys got a couple of big tilts, and it's Hockey Fights Cancer theme for both of them. First, you're on the road in Elora. Always a tough matchup, as they've proven this year, because they're 11-1. And then you got Alvinston coming to your barn on Saturday. So let's start with Elora. Like, you've played in a couple games against them. You guys have matched up a couple times. What's so tough about playing them as a defenseman, especially?
Yeah. Well, the game I played, we actually beat them. They are fast. They're physical. And actually, the game we beat them, I was like, honestly, if they weren't, trying to settle the score all the time, they would have won that game for sure. I think it got blown up. It was like 7-2 at one point, but they brought it back at the end. I think everyone kind of was just like, we had 4D. They fought, Barletta at the end, so we had 3D or something. Right. And I remember being so gassed, and that's probably one of the tougher things for me to take right now is just that I'm so out of shape that, I play in these games and it takes me probably 2 or 3 days to recover. But
Right.
honestly, just to recap on that is their speed. They're highly skilled and they're not afraid to get dirty, which does, get in your mind a little bit. So good team. A lot of fun playing.
Right on, yeah. So like I say, a couple games for you guys this weekend, Elora on the road, and then Alvinston back at home. So we've been doing a little bit of a thing here on the podcast with our favorite Christmas movies, my favorite Christmas movies, and top 10 list or whichever. What are some of yours like that are some holiday staples? I don't know if that's a big thing for you. Like, which ones are some of your favorites?
Yeah, I think I don't know if this is old school, but the Home Alone, the first two of those. I'm kind of like that growing up. Those were the big hits.
Right.
So that's kind of my jam. But I don't mind. Elf is a pretty funny one as well.
Yeah,
like Will Ferrell.
We'll love Will Ferrell, right?
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah. I love Christmas. Don't do anything too crazy. No tree in my place, but still love it.
So is the plan then to spend some time with family? Like, is your time, like, is that generally what you would do around this time of year?
Yeah. And this year, my brother's coming up. He lives down in the States, so that'll be nice.
So your brother, a former offensive lineman, I was told by a little birdie named Bill Ryan. But so let's talk about so how cool is that to have a guy who used to play in the NFL and then I guess when it comes to I don't know, maybe go down the conditioning road. Like, is it intimidating to you? Like, do you feel a sense of needing to keep up? Like, I don't know what that dynamic's like.
Yeah. So he's my little brother, even though he's bigger than me.
Yeah, he's massive, man.
Yeah. So he's 6'7", 350 pounds. He told me that. I was down there a month ago, and he's my little brother. So I beat him up probably until he was in grade 9. And then he decided he was going to punch me in the nose and gave me a bloody nose. And then from then on, it was pretty even. I'm more of the hockey style where I'm a little ruthless. And then he's like the nice teddy bear. And then he gets mad. And then it's, the Hulk. So,
right.
A ton of fun growing up. And we would compete all the time. Usually I had the edge on the conditioning part. But maybe now that I packed on the pounds, I can see if I can out bench them, but probably not. So.
That's awesome, man. That's so cool. Honestly, that was great. When Bill told me that, I was like, man, I got to see this. So that was really cool to see.
He dropped the puck a couple years ago. It would have been 2 years ago when he dropped the puck. So he loves that stuff. He used to be a goalie.
That's what Bill said.
So maybe when you're around at one of the games, I'll tell him to come over and see you. Absolutely.
That would be really cool. It'd be cool to talk with him. And then, it's just, again, so cool. Obviously this, this season, it's been a really unique one for the WOSHL League. It's their first incarnation. And obviously, just so that like I say, I haven't watched you guys play a few times. You're really good back there on the defensive side of things. And again, as an older guy trying to keep up, you're doing a great job. So obviously, dude, best of luck the rest of the way. We really do appreciate you coming on and speaking with us. And we've been talking with number 14 defenseman Matt Pasztor of the Tillsonburg Thunder. Matt, thanks a lot for doing this. We'll see you on Friday.
Yeah, sounds good, Andrew. And thank you for doing what you're doing. That's awesome.
Want to take this opportunity once again to thank our guest on this week's edition of the Western Ontario Super Hockey League podcast, Matt Pasztor, defenseman of the Tillsonburg Thunder. Thanks a lot, Matt, for coming on. We really appreciate speaking with you and hope to have you on again. Guys, so just give you kind of an idea, on our games this upcoming weekend. So big weekend, 4 games in total, starting on Friday, December the 10th at 7:30. First game is in Strathroy between the Strathroy Jets and the Alvinston Killer Bees. Like I said, that one goes at 7:30. Alvinston 0-13 looking for their first W, while the Strathroy Jets are 9-1-2. Over in Elora, it's Hockey Fights Cancer Night. Tillsonburg Thunder and their 6-7 record go into Elora to face the 11-1 Elora Rocks. I'll be there for that one on the play-by-play for that on live on Sportfeed. All games can be found on there, guys. We've been having some technical issues with it of late, but most of these games, that's where you'll be able to find them to enjoy from the comfort of your own home. Then we move to Saturday, guys. It's Saturday, December the 11th at 4:30 in Stratford. The Elora Rocks then are on the road, 11-1. Like say, they could be 11-2, or they could be 12-1 by the time they get to Stratford on Saturday at 4:30. But they play the Stratford Fighting Irish, 5-6-1 on the year for the Irish, and that'll be a good one. I'll be there for that one at 4:30. And then in Tillsonburg, it's the Hockey Fights Cancer game between the Tillsonburg Thunder and the Alvinston Killer Bees. Like I say, Tillsonburg Thunder 6-7, but they could be a different record by the time the Alvinston rolls into town, as well as the Alvinston Killer Bees. They could get their first victory over the Strathroy Jets. Interesting enough, they always play the Jets tough, it seems. But yeah, that goes at 7:30 in Tillsonburg for the Hockey Fights Cancer game. Also note, guys, so Hockey Fights Cancer is obviously a big deal, and we've had a great time promoting that, and it's been a big deal for us. But yeah, Hockey Fights Cancer game in Tillsonburg. I know they got some great prizes lined up. They also have a special appearance, I believe, or sorry, they have a jersey. I think just let me double check here, guys. Sorry, I just want to make sure I got this right. Let me see. Oh yeah, so okay, so on Saturday for the Tillsonburg Thunder game, they're going to do a teddy bear toss. I'm pretty sure they're doing that in Elora on Friday night as well for the for Hockey Fights Cancer night. So teddy bear toss, and then I think Saturday in Tillsonburg, they're going to have a couple of things up for auction. David Ayers has signed a jersey, Carolina Hurricanes, obviously not Maple Leafs, and a Patrick Kane jersey as part of an auction for Hockey Fights Cancer on Saturday. So guys, make sure to get out to Tillsonburg if you can't, or either that or follow along on live on Sportify. You can probably get involved online through Facebook or something. Rather, I'm sure they're going to have information on that. Check their social medias for that. Okay, guys, let's go to our top 10 holiday list. We'll end this episode of the Western Ontario Super Hockey League podcast, episode number 31. So, as just to give you guys a refresher, my honorable mentions, some good ones there. Alvin and the Chipmunks, Bad Santa, the animated version of Frosty the Snowman, 8 Crazy Nights with Adam Sandler, fantastic movie there, and Christmas with the Cranks, obviously it's a good one as well. But yeah, guys, just to give you where we're at right now on this list. Number 10 was I'll Be Home for Christmas, starring Jonathan Taylor Thomas, Jessica Biel, and Gary Cole. Number 9 is the sequel of Home Alone, where he gets lost in New York. That's a good one. Great cameo too by Rob Schneider. He has the bellhop. It's funny, so funny. But it's a good one also. My number 8 was the animated version of The Grinch, and again, that one's just such a classic. Again, it's one of those that just is a staple in the household of many, I can imagine. So that one for me was number 8. Okay, guys, let's reveal our next 3. Starting with number 7, we have Jingle All the Way. Yeah, I mean, how can you not love Arnold, right? It's turbo time. Yeah, that's the best. That's the best impression I could do. Oh yeah, with the rock'em sock'em jetpacks and the voice activators. It's turbo time. I got it. Oh my god, I can't believe I just did that for you guys. That's awesome. Yeah, that's actually one of my favorite. That's one of the favorites for sure. Number 7, Jingle All the Way. Arnold, and you have it's just so good. I mean, and Sinbad. How can you not love Sinbad? I mean, comedic genius, but just fantastic as the mailman. It's just awesome. And then again, Phil Hartman. Again, one of his I think is one of his last movies, or one of the last few that he did, or last appearances, anyways. But yeah, the Weird Neighbor. It's just so good, man. Like, it's just awesome, right? But yeah, so Jingle All the Way is in the number 7 spot there. Moving to number 6, guys, this one's a heartbreaker for me. I don't know why, but every time I watch this movie, I get so freaking emotional. But Jack Frost is number 6. Michael Keaton is just excellent in this movie. He's so good. Again, the story of a father trying to chase his musical dream, having to get in the way of everything else, including his family and his home time and everything else. And then makes a decision to go back, and then, dies tragically and comes back to life as a snowman. And it's so emotional. And just so, it's probably one of the saddest Christmas movies I've ever watched, to be honest. So, but it's just so good, and it's definitely in there amongst my favorites to watch, even though it is so emotional. Okay, guys, and then my number 5 pick is the Santa Claus, the original, the first incarnation of it. There was 3, obviously. Number 2 was in my honorable mentions list, but Number one, the original is just it's so good. I mean, again, you have Tim Allen, and he's just excellent. Judge Reinhold, obviously. This movie's just so good in terms of how it goes from start to finish. You just gotta love it. I mean, again, in what kind of a movie can you see this happen? I mean, it's just, again, you're rooting for everything in the end, and it just ended up working out so well. And I don't know, like, it's just one of those ones that you can put on and just be entertained, and you could be entranced in what's going on, and it's just so good. I just almost want to go watch it at this point. But yeah, so guys, 4 remaining. Okay, so next week I'll reveal the next 2, and then the week after my final 2. So guys, yeah, get excited, get hyped. It's gonna be fun. But yeah, if you see this list and you want to make your own, I will read your top 10 list on this podcast as well. So make sure to submit those, guys. It's gonna be fun. All right, that's going to do it for the Western Ontario Super Hockey League podcast, episode number 31. I'm Andrew Rogers, the host. Thank you very much for watching and continuing your support of the Western Ontario Super Hockey League. Drive safe out there. It's nasty conditions somewhat, and just be careful and be safe, and make sure everybody's doing well. And all the best wishes to you and your family. We'll continue to do these podcasts for the next few weeks until our Christmas break. It's going to be a lot of fun. Got a lot of stuff going. All right, until next time. See you then.